Fresh killer.
What up, tribe? How art thou? I had to come up to the mountains for this one, the hills above Oakland, California, for two reasons. For one, I like to move in Christ consciousness. I go up to the hills to do some of my best thinking. And then number two, to remind myself that Oakland, California is one of the most beautiful places in the world. And these days, it is very easy to forget that. So I want to show you all how beautiful Oakland is while speaking to some of the damage that has been done to my city. Most recently, the mayor of my beloved city her home has been raided by the FBI. This was Thursday morning at 5 a.m. The day before, papers were signed to move forward with a recall. That's right. People have signed a petition to recall the mayor. Now, I've been watching the media coverage of this, and surprise, surprise, I disagree with the media coverage. I think that this is bogus, you all. I just want to lay it out plain. I think that this is an abomination. And I want to speak on a general level, right? Because one of the more self-serving things, I mean self-serving in a great way, right, that I did during the pandemic was to leave the Democratic Party. Yes, I did. I left the Democratic Party, but I did not join any other party. I officially signed the paperwork to become an independent. And has that opened up my lens, and I have been able to see a lot of the hypocrisy that the Democratic Party has been guilty of, okay? And one of these things is the Democratic Party condoning these recalls. Yo, I am old enough to remember when Governor Gray Davis in the early 2000s, I want to say 2003, Governor Gray Davis was recalled to install Governor Gray Davis was recalled to install Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was a Republican. And I remember the talk in real time was that this was very unconstitutional. This is a democratically elected person. He had a 4-year term, and they cut the term short and installed their own person, right? And it was wrong. It felt wrong, right? Like, how dare you do that, right? Even if you disagree with the outcome, it's almost like a child throwing a tantrum. That's exactly what it is. It's wealthy white people throwing a tantrum and going against the very system that you are supposed to hold dear, right? And that was the talk, right? I never believed fully in said system because of my melanated skin and my ancestors being slaves, but I always watched the show. I always observed the show. Sometimes the show had a sway on me, and I remember how the audience in this guerrilla theater that is politics, how the audience responded, and that's how the Democrats responded at that particular time. And I remember being very empathetic to that. Like, it feels very wrong, okay? So now fast forward about 20 years later, and we're doing this in the city of Oakland, right? So I think that it's wrong on that level. Full disclosure, I did not vote for Mayor Thao. I didn't vote for her, right? However, wrong is wrong, and I think that the recalling of a democratically elected political figure is wrong. You know what else is wrong? Let me get on the macro level, then bring it back to the micro. What else is wrong that I noticed about the Democratic Party is the support of war. The war in the Ukraine. I've seen a lot of people in the San Francisco Bay Area, Oakland specifically, in some of the whiter neighborhoods, and they have the Ukrainian flag, right, to show that they support Ukraine, they support the United States involvement in that war. bringing it back to the micro, this is also the place where Barbara Lee, who was from Oakland, California, and went to Mills College. That's where I got my graduate degree from. She famously voted against the invasion of Iraq. She voted against the Iraq War. She was the only person in the Senate that voted against that. And in that time, people condemned her, right? People castigated her. People said, this is ignorant after 9/11. How could you do that? That's irresponsible. But then her support came out. Barbara Lee speaks for me. Why? Because in the liberal bastions of this country, we are opposed to war, period. We agree, we think that people should talk it out. We believe in other means of resolving conflict. An eye for an eye leaves everyone blind, right? I found out later, it's not just the war that people are against, it's war when Republicans are in office. Because if it's a war when Democrats are in office, we support that, right? And so here we are supporting the war in Ukraine. I disagree with that. I feel like, in general, the Democratic Party has lost its way. The principles that the Democratic Party was supposed to stand on, standing on business, the Democratic Party is no longer standing on business. I don't know what they're doing. It's shameful to watch. Back to this raid, right? So back to the mayor. So they raid her crib, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, are there dead bodies there? Does she have a pill mill? Is she selling Xanax and opioids out the back? But as of right now, apparently there was a trip to a trip to Vietnam, I want to say, that the Dongs, a political Asian family, was supposed to fund, and it's like political misappropriation of funds. Listen to me. That's not enough to raid a sitting public figure's house. That's not enough. Furthermore, I'm getting tired of the weaponization of the FBI. I feel like this is connected to the recall effort, all right? So, about this coverage, let me say this, my oh my, I'm seeing a lot of grassroots figure and black folk saying, yeah, she hasn't done anything and the crime is out of hand. Look, I'm the first one. Check. If this is your first time visiting my page, first off, subscribe to this page, like this video, but also go back. I am so critical of crime here in Oakland, right? I'm from Oakland, my goodness. It is the bipping, breaking into cars. It is insane. You know who I blame? I blame the police department, right? I think that the mayor should be at fault as well, but to put all this on the mayor when the violent crime rate was very high under Jerry Brown, but somehow they were able to deflect and blame other people. Mayor Libby Schaaf, the homicide rate was very high under Libby Schaaf, right? But somehow I guess she shook the right hands. I guess she comes from the right background, and she was not nearly criticized as much, right? And here's what's behind the scenes that they don't say. So they lead with, black people, right? And people of color saying, oh yeah, she needs to be out of there. She needs to resign. I don't think that she should resign, but this is why the messaging is what it is. This recall effort was started in the Montclair district. And this is a fact. This is not another Roger Porter conspiracy. This is a fact. The Montclair district is a privileged, wealthy district. It's also one of the more whiter districts in the city of Oakland, right? Look this up. This is true. So what they did there was they didn't like how the mayor was conducting business, I guess, I don't know. And ultimately they started this drive, they funded it, and they ended up getting her, they ended up moving this thing as far as it is right now and getting her, basically getting the petition signed. They're getting her removed from office, or they're trying to get her removed from office, and they got federal connections, they got the FBI raiding. I'm not gonna agree with anything that the FBI does. I'm not gonna say, oh, the FBI raided it, so it must be true. I feel like as black people, we haven't read our books. I feel like we haven't read Soul on Ice. I feel like we haven't read the autobiography of Assata Shakur. How are we now on the side of the FBI? How are we now believing that the FBI does no wrong? And if the FBI raided her crib, then my goodness, she must be a bad person. Do we remember COINTELPRO? Do we remember the deep state, the FBI and the CIA being involved in crack cocaine, being placed in black communities around the country, specifically in Oakland, California, one of the places where the crack epidemic first started? But now all of a sudden I feel like we're siding with the FBI as if they are not a corrupt, racist, malicious organization. I don't understand where we are right now. This is what I want to do in 2024. I want to bring critical thinking back. I think a lot about the awkward black tribe, right? That's my tribe, that's y'all, that's me. And what makes me awkward? A lot of things makes me awkward, but one of the things that makes me awkward, one of the major things, is me not going along with groupthink. And sometimes my critical thinking keeps me up at night. Sometimes it gets me kicked out of the group chat. Sometimes it keeps me without friends. Sometimes people don't want me involved in political conversations because, or political groups for that matter, because if something is, I feel like, wrong in my soul, it doesn't matter if all of the people that are in my group are supposed to agree with that. If I don't agree with it, I don't. And I don't agree with what's happening right now with the mayor, all right? My goodness. She made a statement, and once again, I didn't vote for her, but pretty much if the feds move against somebody, if the FBI moves against somebody, I'm inclined to align myself with you because I know the history of the FBI. That's me. She made a statement, and she said she called out the people that was after her, right? She called out the people in Piedmont, the wealthy people that are after her. Just said that she might not have the connections that the other people had, but she's capable of doing her job. I said, okay, listen, you got my ear. You got my ear. And her publicist resigned, her lawyer resigned. They didn't like the speech that she gave. I did like the speech that she gave. So we shall see. I think that they are going out of their way to shame this city. I feel like it's some third world things going on right now. It almost feels like my trip to Haiti. In Haiti, I was hanging out with, my goodness, we were hanging out with the children of the Prime Minister of Haiti. Long story, we popped up somewhere and they popped up too. And they were living such a charmed life. They were riding jet skis and all this type of stuff. My goodness. I said, wow, man, what they had, they had the two boys. They had, one of them had like I think it's like a Dominican girlfriend or something like that. And all these bodyguards and all this. And I said, what a charmed life, man. Wow, look at them. Look at them, man, doing that thing in this Black Republic. I want to say less than a year later, they ran into the Prime Minister's crib and shot him to death while he lay in bed with his wife. The people that killed him screamed, CIA, CIA. The CIA said that we had nothing to do with that. But if you know the history of the CIA internationally, you might be a little bit skeptical of that. I don't know. At any rate, here's my point. In the United States, we also take out rivals. We take out political leaders, but we do it through all these technicalities and self-righteousness, and the people that are in the back make sure that they put the oppressed people in the front while they're the one pulling all the strings. My goodness, Montclair District. Don't you ever tell me Oakland, California is not a racist place led by white people that do not care about the general upliftment of people in the flatlands and people in poor places. The only thing they care about is getting their way all of the time. Apparently, Mayor Thao didn't play ball. I'm awkward. I don't like to play ball either, unless the rules are fair. We'll see how this thing unfolds, but I want people to please think critically and ask questions. I think Mayor Thao being from Oakland, the most town thing that she could do is not give up don't quit, and see who comes out of the woodworks to support you. That's all I got for right now. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Peace, tribe. And another one.